Hey everybody, good morning. It is Thursday morning. Thanks for being here. Cat on point. This is supposed to be a Weigh In Wednesday video, and I am one day late. I apologize. Yesterday just got kind of maxed out to the brink. I had appointments and we had stuff going on and it got really crazy. And so I never got back to be able to sit down and make this video. But anyway, I want to fill you in on how this week went for me and hubby, because hubby and I are both on WW. As you know, we both started December 8th of 2021, right? And it's so hard to keep up with the years. They're flying by so fast. Okay, and so let's just get right to the business. All right, so this last week, I am down 0.4 pounds. And so that's awesome. I'm really happy about that. Let's go over some of the things I did. But first, let me give you hubby's weight, and he is down, I believe it's 1.2, and he's working right now, so otherwise he'd be here giving it to you himself. So I am so proud of him. He's doing amazing, just really awesome. He is like a champion with his water, no doubt. He gets at least 64 ounces a day, maybe more, and he's just on it all the time, and I couldn't be happier because he stays hydrated. He's had a couple of times in the past where he's dehydrated and ended up in the hospital with an IV. So I think he gets so busy sometimes that if he's not careful and drinking, that can happen very easily, especially, you know, we live out here in the desert. So in the summertime, it's really important. But right now is winter, and that's a good time to start the habit of drinking water. So I've got mine right here, and I'm going to get back on that pretty soon. All right, so what are some of the things that we did that maybe added up to losing a little bit this week? A little bit for me, a lot more for him. I was sure, and I want to tell you, I was really sure that I was going to gain this week. I didn't even want to get on the scale. I couldn't move my ring again. I didn't drink enough water the day before weigh in, and I'm like, oh, I was just really dreading it. We did have company this week, all week, and which was really nice. But I think when you have company, no matter how much you enjoy it, what causes the anxiety, if you're enjoying the company, is you have in your mind the things that you're supposed to be doing. I know I'm forgetting certain things, and you start getting a little anxious about those things. But, you know, it was okay. But in the middle of the week, we ended up getting into a terrible car accident, me, you know, and the kids, and it's just, it raised the stress level to a whole other level. And I was really, you know, what a dumb thing to be afraid of. After I was okay and happy with the fact that the kids weren't hurt and I wasn't hurt, and I was very grateful for all that, then I worried about how this was going to affect my weight loss. It wasn't the first thing I thought of, because that would be bad and superficial. But right, but later on, after I made sure everybody was okay, I'm like, oh dang, this stress level. What I do is I internalize stress, and you know, I don't bring it outward, but I break out in hives or something like that. All of a sudden I have a rash all over my body. All of a sudden something happens because I've internalized it, and nothing like that happened, and I didn't show outward signs. So I'm thinking, okay, what's going to happen? I'll probably gain weight this week, right? And lo and behold, I did not. And even we did go out a couple of times with our company for dinner, and one night I think we had, it was part of the previous week, and we went to the buffet, and I think I showed you guys that, maybe not, but anyway, we kept to our points. And whenever we went out, like we went out to Denny's one night, I did my Denny's thing, and that is, I will order off of the side menu only. And I'll get like an order of red skin potatoes, which is for me 3 points. Potatoes are usually 0 for me, but those ones are 3 points because I guess they add the oil on there. And then I get a double order of egg whites for the protein, which is 0, and then a double order or a single order of broccoli. And then I just mix it all together and I make like a bowl. And it's really cheap and it's really filling and it's really low points. So I end up walking out of Denny's with 3 points instead of like, I don't know, 21 or 25 or something like that, like you would get if you ordered like a regular entree plate, just something really heavy on the points. So anyway, so we really kept on as much as possible. We tracked absolutely everything. One day I was out of the Blue Dot, and that was an evening we went to a Korean barbecue place. And I just, I had I think they gave you about a cup of white rice, and that kind of like put me over a little bit. And then, the meats that come with it and stuff. And so honey, is not really big on it now, just because he likes some of it, but he doesn't really like the sugary sauces. So I don't know if we'll be back for a while just because of that, because he's really not a fan of the sugary sauces, which I would have to agree with him, because I think that the sauces on something really sneak in. They're really a carrier for a lot of sugar and points and things that you don't really need added to it. So anyway, tracking, we did a lot of tracking. We did as much water as we can. I could always do better with that. I think sleep really suffered this last week. We were just really busy, and we needed to, I needed to brush up on my sleep, but apparently it didn't really hurt hubby too much because he lost 1.2. So I'm really proud of him for all the work he's been doing. He's been very good about taking his prepared lunches, and I've been very good about preparing those, tracking those for him. Honestly, I have to say, having him as a partner here and partnering with me to do WW has really bumped up my accountability level in so many ways, because it's kind of like having a nightly meeting. Every night we get together and we go over our points for the day, and we encourage each other. What did you do? Wow, that was great. Good for you. This is what I did. And we kind of share the ideas, and of course we share the foods. During the day at the lunches, I will have something different than him most of the time, but I'm on board, and I know I'm going to be showing him what I did at the end of the day, so it really helps to keep me focused. Now, one thing that I noticed, which is really, really a neat development, is that, they say if you do something, you want something to be a habit, do it for 21 days straight, right, consecutively. And if you miss a day, then you have to start all over again. And I didn't really understand the concept of having to start all over again, because I thought, well, why not just pick up, where you're at? But that's the way that it works. So because I've done that before, I'm gonna track for so many days, and then I'll miss a day or two, and then just go, well, I'll just pick up, and why isn't this becoming a habit? Well, because you've stopped it. You really do need to go back and start it all over again and do those 21 consecutive days. Some people will say it's 90 days. Some people will say it's 60 days. There's different. The lowest number that I've heard is 21 days to start a habit. And so I told myself, I'm really going to do this. I'm really going to be patient. My word of the year is patience. So I'm going to stick with this plan, whether it works or not. And I'm going to give it time. And by now, it's been about 6 weeks or so. I would have done something else. I would have said, this isn't working fast enough. And I would have tried to skew it in some way or try something else, right? And I've really had to make myself stay put, stick where I'm at, and go, no, your word of the year is patience this year. You're going to stick with this. You're going to write it out. You're going to see what it does and let your body adapt. And so I made that deal with myself this year. This is what I'm doing, and I'm going to stick with this plan. And I have been inputting everything and not missing. And what happened the other day was, I noticed that I was inputting my food into my tracker, but the way that I felt about it, I realized that it had become a habit. It had actually crossed over into becoming a habit, because to me, it was as natural as when you take the milk out of the fridge and you pour it, your habit is to put it back in the fridge, or my habit is to put it back in the fridge again, because I don't want to leave it out and it'll get warm and stinky. So that is a real concerted habit. And it's a conscious habit that I have made. And it was just like that. It was like, while I'm eating, then I'm tracking. If I'm eating, I should be tracking, right? And it was so natural. It wasn't something outside of eating. It was now part of eating. It was being conscious of what I'm having and how many points are in there. And what we have done a lot is when you put something in the tracker, we'll scroll down to the bottom, and we will check out the protein level, because it will have the nutritional level of the food that you have just inputted. And it's really, really helpful to look at that, because another thing we've started doing is looking at our protein and trying to make sure that we get enough protein in the day, because as we get older, protein is really important for losing weight for somebody, especially somebody who's, over 40 or, past that certain age. And they want to lose weight. It's really important that you up your protein levels, because we are losing muscle at a faster rate than ever. And so we need to make sure that we are replenishing and that we're able to do this. And so we figured out our protein levels and what we needed. There are different websites you can go to for a protein calculator and how much you need. I'll try to find one. If I find one that's pretty easy, I will link it below so you can check out and look for yourself and try to figure out what your protein level needs are. One of the ones that I would say don't go to is bodybuilding.com. I went there and it gave me 2.5 times the amount of protein that anybody needs. And I'm thinking, what in the world? Someone's going to blow their kidneys out doing this. So I wouldn't use that one. But some of the other ones were much more sensible. So anyway, I think my protein level came out to about 59, I think, because you're going to figure out the protein level according to your desired or your goal weight, recommended goal weight, not where you're at right now. So anyway, I will try to link one below so you can check it out and try to figure that out. But we have been really checking the protein levels, and because I think honey needs to have, I think it's 60, 65 or 60-ish, somewhere around there. But anyway, so look into that, and you might want to watch that, because that's going to make your choices of your snacks and how much, meat and protein you add to each meal to make sure that you get that. And it's going to help you stay full. Anyway, I've talked for a very long time, and I just wanted to check in with you guys. I'm going to probably make a video later today to put on Sweetwater Place channel, and I'll see you over there if you are part of that group. All right, guys, I love you a lot. Thank you for taking this journey with me. It really means a lot to me to check in with you and to interact with you guys. All right, how did your week go? Let me know below how your week is going, if you have any challenges or anything that you want us to talk about in an upcoming video. All right, I'll see you later. Have a wonderful rest of the week.